Hello, this is Randy Nelson, and this is an edition of Extra Innings. As a retiring superintendent of schools, many things run across my mind when I reflect on 37 years in education. What's happened in those 37 years? What have we been doing in our schools? And even, what's on the horizon? To help facilitate the discussion, I've enlisted the assistance of Mr. Bob Schmidt, past radio talk show host, a parent, and a friend.
I had the opportunity to be a part of your Rebuilding for Learning, and it's an initiative that I know that the School District of La Crosse has had for quite a few years, a chance for teachers to get together and explain some of the things they're doing to some of the other teachers, so that way the teachers can all kind of learn from each other.
Exactly. So we really established a connection between the School District of La Crosse and employees from the county, employees from the city. And what we were really trying to accomplish with that organization was what's really happening and how can we best support our students and our families. What we've seen, I think, over the last few years is that we do have more and more of our students living in crisis, actually, sometimes at home for various reasons, very complicated reasons sometimes. And sometimes navigating those crises really involves a lot of different individuals, including social workers, including child protective services, etc. And so what we really tried to do in the first few years of Rebuilding for Learning was to bring together individuals. We've had about 120, 125 people at our first one. And it really was to bring together individuals from the city and the county and the school district and just have face-to-face meetings and build relationships with one another so that when it is time for us to have a discussion about a certain situation that we all should be involved with and supporting a family and supporting a child, that it's not the first time that we've had a discussion with each other. We recognize faces, we recognize voices, and we can get past those pleasantries and really get into the challenges that might be existing so that we can best help a child and get that child back on the right track again. And so that started as a small group of about 120 people. Last year, I think it was 1,400, and we were at the La Crosse Center. And so we had our staff there, several concurrent sessions about a myriad of different issues and challenges that we're experiencing in our classrooms, in our community. All of these things are so intertwined. And just having a good opportunity to visit with one another about that and also to gain knowledge from others and some experts in the field so that we can do our jobs better.
You know, I'm wondering, Randy, if a lot of community members don't realize that we do have a group of kids that are homeless and a group of kids that are maybe riding a couch on a friend's house rather than having a home to go to because they're not getting along with their families, or that they're living in the car somewhere because they don't have a place to go.
Actually, we've talked about school safety a little bit before, Bob, and I think that what's unfortunate is that for many of our students, school is the safest place in their life. It's the place for them to be. It's the place where they feel safest all the time, because outside of school, they're not always so sure about their own safety sometimes, whether it's a difficult living situation that they're involved in or whether it's friends who really aren't so much friends along the way. And so these are some of the things that we try better to understand. We really have been working hard to better understand the cultural pieces that come alongside of solid instruction and making sure that everyone is welcome, everyone has a role. The inclusive practices that our teachers are really trying to also better understand. How do we work to make sure every single child is valued, every child who somehow is marginalized in our community? Our job in public education is to un-marginalize. It goes deeper than just, well, here, let's take another test, or here, let's do this intervention on reading or mathematics. Well, let's address some of these challenges here so that you can do better. But a common theme has been trauma-informed care, trauma-informed understanding, what it means to help a kid, what it means to be a teacher who's better understanding of trauma-informed, and what it means for us ourselves as educators along the way. So that's been a common theme just about through every one of these, except we just get different nuances each time. We understand better how culture, how race, how socioeconomics impacts that particular piece. And so these are important things for us as educators, and now is the time for our schools, also for our parents, to be together in how we support our children, how we build the character, how we ensure that our students are better understanding the challenges that they face right now. Because the more we do that now, the better we understand each other right now, the better chance a child has somewhere down the road to really be the productive citizen that they really stand out to be.
No, Randy, does this help the child to be an individual?
You know, it used to be okay for some students not to be successful when it comes time to take tests and or other ways that we measure success along the way. But some is not okay anymore. It has to be 100% of our students. And in order to do that, we have to work with students at that individual level. less in mathematics and reading, and it's more in other factors that are going on in the life of a child and how we might be able to support or mitigate that. It's through these partnerships and our Rebuilding for Learning efforts and connecting dots with several different entities and educators that we have a much better chance to focus on the individual child as opposed to depending on a system of standardization that has never met the needs of every child.
Thanks, Randy. I'm looking forward to our next Extra Innings conversation. Retiring Superintendent of Schools Randy Nelson's Extra Innings podcast is a podcastforhire.com production.